Hello and welcome to the show. Let's start first with this reminder. It is okay to say you are not okay. No long explanations. You just need a break to figure some stuff out. And our guests today say prayer, meditation, therapy, coaching, or maybe just a good mental detox are all good ways to decompress and hit reset. So let's start this conversation with Dr. Bernadette Anderson. She's the author of Fulfilled, 52 Prescriptions for Healing, Health, and Happiness. Welcome to the show, Doc.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, indeed. I love that there are 52. I feel like that means there's one a week.
Absolutely, but you can take your time.
We can
Some
take
of them
time.
might take you 2 weeks.
I got you. Understood. Let's talk about your journey to writing this book about being fulfilled. You've gone through a lot, like so many of our viewers have been through a lot. How'd you get here?
So I like to say I've lived, unhealed, unhealthy, and unhappy, and in that process, I learned that there are some things that we can all do so that we don't have to stay in that space. And so Fulfilled is a guidebook. It's an action plan, and you don't have to do it alone. You can do it with me. I'll be the doctor on call.
Okay. I like that, the doctor on call. It sounds like such a dark question, but you put it out there. You said unhealed and unhappy. Just briefly, what were some of the sources of your unhappiness?
One of the things that I had to really deal with was unforgiveness. For me, I learned in this process that forgiveness, I like to say, is where science meets the soul. And it helped me to just rewrite my story. And for me, releasing the hurts and the pains of the feeling of neglect from my father. And it not only lightened my heart, but it allowed me to drop over 140 pounds.
Wow. Lost a lot.
Yes, absolutely.
By letting go.
Absolutely. And forgiveness, it eases stress and it just lifts that weight.
Yeah, it keeps that anxiety, that tension that you're holding on to, and you just say, okay, it's time to move on.
Absolutely.
And then I know there were some other just personal feelings of accomplishment that you have struggled with because of things you thought you were going to do but did not do. Explain.
So some of the things in terms of my career, I always thought that I kind of wake up sometimes and say, well, how did I end up here in medicine? But, being able to let the desire for, I want to be an actress go and then just deal with what I was called to do. And I really was called to be a physician.
And I'd like to remind you that that's a great calling. We thank you for your service as an MD.
Yes.
So I understand, though, there were other things that you said you wanted to do.
Absolutely. And sometimes, I still feel like I'm doing that in this role. It's just doing it a different way. I feel like when the patients come, there is sort of a stage there for them to present their problems to me and then for me to help them to sort of decipher those things and get to the root of what's going on.
And with so many patients, I know you've said that there's some physical issues, but a lot of those physical issues are tied to the stress, tied to your body's manifestation of how you are feeling.
Absolutely. People come in saying I have a headache or I have a bellyache, but as we talk about it, we realize that that's tied to anxiety, that's tied to depression. So there are other things going on, and being able to just sit and talk with the patient about where is this coming from, rather than just saying, here's a prescription, here's a pill for your problem.
Here's what it is.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, speaking of prescriptions, you got 52, right?
Yes.
We can't go through all 52 in the show. You talked about number 5 already, which was one that we really liked, just this concept of forgiveness, right? But let's talk about, for your sake, the concept of drawing the line in the sand.
Yes. It is so important to set and maintain. And let me draw a line under the word maintain, boundaries. It actually took my life off hold. It made space for me in my own life. And so, for example, every Wednesday, from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., I am 100% available to me. It is the time that I enjoy, like my Pilates class or stopping off at
no patients and
no patients, not even phone calls from the office. They know.
Wow, right.
Absolutely.
Because you're making yourself available pretty much the rest of the week,
rest of the week.
Imagine.
Absolutely.
Right.
And it gives me a chance to just make harmony and peace with my busy life.
Yeah. Another prescription you say is meditating.
Yes.
Daily. And nightly.
Yes. I kickstart my day with meditation, whether it's 5 minutes or whether it's 30 minutes. It's about being present in the moment, you know, and it's not just a feel good activity. For me, it helps me to stay focused, centered, and, you know, to just think about me as I start my day.
I have a question about that though, because I know when I find myself trying to meditate, you get distracted by all the things that were stressing you out in the first place. And we say we're going to sit down and calm down. What do you do in that moment when the bill pops in?
That's an excellent question. Allow yourself, don't fight it. Allow yourself to think about it, but then draw yourself back to what's currently happening, how you feel. I think when you try to fight the feeling as it comes in, then it becomes really a lot of pressure and you don't want to do it.
I'm going to let that work project go for just a minute.
Exactly.
I'm going to let that bill go for just, they're both going to be there when we get back, right? You talk about this concept of apples not being oranges. Seems obvious, but we forget that.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is stop using someone else's yardstick to measure your life. I mean, I've been there.
Stop the comparison.
Yes, and it is a surefire way to disrupt your happiness. What works for me is focusing on what I have and not my lack, you know. And also, you know, monitoring the amount of time that I spend on social media and just being available to me.
Yeah, that's social media. I mean, it's great in so many ways, right? But it sometimes allows us to rabbit hole into a bunch of everybody, what else everyone is doing, and we take away from the time we could spend in gratitude.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
Great start to a wonderful conversation. Dr. Anderson, stand by. When we return, you're going to meet Portia show viewer Tamara Dillard. She's going to join the conversation because she wants to talk to Dr. Anderson about some bad habits she would like to break when it comes to self-care. And we will see what the doctor orders. And later, we're going to meet another Portia show viewer who recognized her need for a mental detox, Sadie Mae Evans. She's going to share her detox to-do list. And the best part, it's kind of pampering we can all do. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Hey there, Portia here. Listen, that was a good conversation, wasn't it? Want to see the rest of it? Just go to portiashow.com, scroll down until you see that particular episode. But listen, before you scroll on out of here, I need you to do me a favor, please. Like, comment, let us know what you thought of that episode, and subscribe. And if you already are a subscriber, we sure appreciate you. In the meantime, we'll be sure to see you on the next episode of Portia, and you can catch us weeknights on Fox Soul as well. Tell your friends. Tell them to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.